All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to talk about the Chiefs becoming now the next dynasty, the new dynasty in the NFL, officially now. Because I know leading up to it, I was saying they're right on the doorstep of that. I think another championship would now be officially make them a dynasty, and that's the case. They are a dynasty. And actually, while we were in break, I was watching Kevin Harlan's call on Westwood One on the game-winning touchdown, Mahomes to McCall Hardman, and it was a great call by Hardman. And even in the call, Kevin Harlan's like they are a dynasty. They are officially a dynasty, and a lot of people aren't happy about it. I understand that. You go back to the Dark Knight quote. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's what the Chiefs. I hope I said the quote exactly right. Because I did watch the Dark Knight movies. I did. I finally did that. So I hope I didn't misquote that. But yeah, the Chiefs are now not only are they a new dynasty, but yeah, they're the new villain. What they've been able to accomplish in such a short period of time is unbelievable. And they are the first team since the Patriots back in the early 2000s to repeat as Super Bowl champs. And now they're looking to do something that has never been done. Three-peat. Can they do it? They can definitely do it. But again, we got a long way to go before that. So, and, we got the baseball season coming up, so I don't want to rush that. Unless, the Yankees start struggling, then I'm going to say, okay, let's get back to football. But we got a long way to go, so I don't want to talk about it a lot now. And on top of that, the Super Bowl just ended. So, but they could definitely do it. And again, this is a team that during the regular season at certain points, I was saying to myself, as many others, there's no way this team is making it back to the Super Bowl the way they're playing. I flat out said it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're going back. Talking with my family and my friends, it's like, yeah, I don't think so. But they got to the playoffs and it just didn't matter. All of that went out the window. Beat the Dolphins. Again, you go on the road twice against the Bills and against the Ravens, the number 1 seed in the AFC. First time Patrick Mahomes has ever gone on the road in the playoffs. I know we were making a big deal about it, but was that really going to rattle him? No. He was going to be fine, and he was fine, and the team was fine because then they got to the Super Bowl. And again, I thought the 49ers, they played really well on defense in the Super Bowl. They, because another thing was the run defense too. I was worried about that, but they held Pacheco down. Again, Mahomes had a couple of big runs, which was going to happen, but I thought they did a good job. It's just, Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. And that's what's separating the Chiefs from everybody else. Is him. You got Andy Reid. It's just that team. It's Patrick Mahomes is that engine that is driving this team right now. And the fact that he was able to do it this year. Now, a lot of people credit the Chiefs for trading away Tyreek Hill because they ended up getting a lot of assets for him, and that helped them build up this defense. Because, the first Super Bowl that Mahomes won, and even the second one from last year, the defense was better last year than it was back in 2019. And then you saw what happened when they played the Bucs. That defense got torched by Brady at times. And now you look at this year. What was the strength of the team? What were we talking about? Defense was even better than last year. Defense was the strength of the team this year. It was even better than last year. It was the strength of the team this year. And came out a year where the offense was struggling. Couldn't really find an identity. You saw Isaiah Pacheco have a good season. They definitely tried to establish the run a lot this year. And Pacheco did a great job. Again, 7th round pick. And he's one of the, he is probably a top 10 running back in the NFL right now, right? I think it's fair to say that. Um, he had a solid season, and it really came down to the receivers because guys were dropping passes. Kadarius Toney, who did not play in the Super Bowl, Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropping passes. It's just they really didn't have a threat at the wide receiver position. Again, Rashee Rice became a key contributor down the stretch, but for a while there, it was like, who's going to step up? And Travis Kelce didn't look the same at points during the year, playing hurt. We'll see what happens next year. But, I mean, Kelce looked good once we got to the playoffs. And that's when he needed to be money. And that's exactly how, he scored a touchdown, in the championship game and against the Bills. Only had one catch in the first half, but in the second half, different player. And again, that all goes back to the Chiefs were eventually going to wake up. And they did. But, yeah, it's crazy how this Super Bowl came in a year where it just did not look like it was going to be them. It was going to be a different team. And a lot of people were wrong, including myself. They went on and they won yet another championship against a team that, on paper, is probably better than them, especially on offense. But the difference is the quarterback. Brock Purdy, great story. I think he's a solid quarterback, but I don't look at him as a generational talent. Generational talent is on the other side, and that was the difference in the game. It's Patrick Mahomes. Again, they cashed in on the 49ers' mistakes. Now, again, there's that discussion of, I was listening to it on the radio of, like if Mahomes went somewhere else, would he, end up where he is right now? And the answer is probably not, because you got to be put in a good situation. And Patrick Mahomes got put in a very good situation. He got to sit behind Alex Smith. Andy Reid is there. Great system. And now look at that. He was able to flourish. And now he has 3 championships. So, and again, people are talking about Andy Reid and where he ranks among the all-time greats in terms of head coaches. But everyone's talking. But I saw a post about how, before Mahomes, Andy Reid didn't win anything. He went to the Super Bowl with the Eagles and lost to Tom Brady. Went to the Super Bowl with Mahomes, and the only one they've lost is to Tom Brady. So, yeah, again, it goes back to the Belichick-Brady argument too, where it's like, well, if Belichick didn't have Brady, he'd be nothing. But at the same time, it's like the Patriots are the ones that drafted him, put him in that system, and Brady was successful. So again, does Brady succeed if he goes somewhere else? I don't know. We don't know. Well, at the start of his career, because obviously we know what he did when he went to Tampa, in the later part of his career, much later part of his career. But I'm talking about at the very beginning. But yeah, it is interesting. But again, back to the original point of them being the new dynasty. It's again, what else is there to say? It's unbelievable what they've been able to accomplish, and you could tell they're still hungry. They want to win more, and I don't know. Listen, Mahomes said Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. So there's always going to be that. But I feel like he wants to, they want to win as many championships as they can. And I think, Mahomes probably in the back of his mind is saying, I'm not going to have Kelce forever. I'm not going to have Andy Reid forever. Got to win as many right now. And if they're able to run it back and repeat next year, and three-peat, that would be unbelievable. And again, that would be something that we have never seen before. But yeah, I think, and he's taken the Tom Brady route where he's looking to restructure his contract, take a pay cut, so they're able to keep guys because that there's some guys that they're going to want to keep. They want to keep this defense together, but at the same time, you also want to surround Mahomes with more talent, at the wide receiver position. But I mean, Mahomes was able to make it work. Also, the fact that Kadarius Toney again was a healthy scratch. I mean, if he plays in the game, what happens? Because again, we saw a couple of times Mahomes throws it to him, it gets tipped up in the air, intercepted. Brian Branch picked it off and returned it for a pick six in week one, and then in the Patriots game there was an interception too. So what would have happened with the? I mean, I said jokingly, if Kadarius Toney played, the Chiefs probably would have lost. But I don't know. Again, Kadarius Toney made plays in last year's Super Bowl. So, but yeah, it's you thought once the Patriots and Brady leaving and now Belichick leaving, it was over, and that we were never going to see something like that. Well, we're seeing it right now. Now, again, the Patriots went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. Could that happen again with the Chiefs here? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Mahomes is only 28, still got a long way to go. But I think, I know we live in the world now where we're just comparing. And again, it annoys me when I see people saying, oh, there's no chance Mahomes could ever become the greatest of all time. Well, I don't think you could say there's no chance. But I think it's also important that also listening to the radio as well yesterday, Michael K. show, is let's just learn to just appreciate what we're watching too. Because before you know it, this Mahomes run is going to eventually be over. Just like every other player before him. He's going to retire, and then there's going to be somebody else. There's going to be new players that come in. So let's try to, and listen, I have a problem with this too, is living in the moment. Let's live in the moment, try to enjoy this. A lot of people aren't going to enjoy it because they're just sick of the Chiefs. But I'm going to try to enjoy it because what we're watching is, again, it's incredible. I don't know what else to say. So, but let me know what you guys think about this topic. Chiefs are officially the new dynasty in the NFL. And let's see who the team is going to be that is going to dethrone them yesterday. Next year. I don't know why I was saying yesterday. I mean, Joe Burrow dethroned them technically yesterday, a couple of years ago, if you want to say that. But yeah, I mean, that's the only player, the only quarterback that has beaten the Chiefs to knock them out of the playoffs. That's still playing, Joe Burrow, and that's who everybody's looking to now. Because you had Lamar Jackson, everyone's like, there's only one man that could save us from a Taylor Swift Super Bowl. Is Lamar Jackson. Then it was like, there's only one man that could save us from a Taylor Swift Super Bowl championship. Brock Purdy. Well, they didn't come through. They didn't come through for you guys. I'm sorry. It just didn't happen. So, and again, I wanted the 49ers to win. But I mean, people are just crazy. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But, again, Joe Burrow is the only quarterback that has defeated the Chiefs in this era with Mahomes. And listen, Tom Brady, could he come back? No, he's not. I don't think so. But those are the only two guys that were able to do it. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they have not been able to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because Burrow got hurt. If Burrow doesn't get hurt, the Bengals are in the playoffs, and then who knows what happens. But I don't know. So before I go into our second break of the show, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. And that is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So when we come back from our second break of the show, we will then discuss the NFL honors. We'll recap the NFL honors. And yeah, so that's what we'll do when we come back from our second break. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.